Hey, what's happening, guys? So our lure review this week is going to be on the Storm Rockin Shad. This is a relatively new lipless crankbait that Storm has put out, and I've only had it for a couple weeks, but I did have a chance to go out and fish with it, and got a couple features about it that I really do like, and I'm going to go over them with you right now. Alright guys, so the Storm Rockin Shad comes in two different sizes. This is the smaller size. This is the RKSD06. It has a body length of 2.5 inches, a weight of 1/2 ounce, variable diving depth sinking lure. The bigger one is the RKSD07. That one has a body length of 3 inches, a weight of 3/4 ounce, and a variable diving depth sinking lure. First thing that I noticed about this crankbait is the thickness of it. Most of your lipless crankbaits that you're going to find are actually going to be pretty thin. And I'm not saying that this crankbait isn't thin, because compared to like a square bill crankbait, it's very thin. But for a lipless crankbait, it's very thick. I'll show you guys what it looks like up against a Strike King red-eye shad. And even this one isn't the thinnest that you can get, but it's, let's just say this one was standard. You can see this one is probably 50% thicker. And in a lipless crankbait, the thin body of it is really what makes that vibrating quality of the bait. So when you get a thicker bait like this, what you get is a harder knocking, a harder rocking crankbait. So some people will like this. I actually do like this because when you throw it out there, you can feel every bit of it. And most lipless crankbaits you can feel really well. This one you can feel that much better because of the thickness of it. It just has a little more rock to it, a little more vibration to it. Here are the rattles. It's not the loudest rattling system in the world. It has a little bit of a higher pitch compared to the Strike King red-eye shad. And here is that's an LV500, so you can kind of get the idea. Obviously the LV500 is more on the louder side of the spectrum. This one obviously isn't as loud, has a high pitch to it, but with that rocking quality, that really heavy vibrating back and forth quality that it has to it, it'll do just fine inside the water. Normally with lipless crankbaits, especially in the last couple of reviews that I've done, I don't talk about the casting performance, because usually with a lipless crankbait it'll be the best casting lure that you have altogether. Either that or like a spook or something like that. So generally speaking, lipless crankbaits are very good casting lures. So with this one is actually that much better as well. I was actually very surprised how far I can get this thing out there. It's probably one of the better, if not maybe the top 3 that I've used for lipless crankbait casting performance. So I was really impressed with that. That's one of the better qualities of a lipless crankbait, is to have a great casting one, because it's for most people it's a search bait, so you want to get it out there pretty far. So I was really happy with that one. There were some things about it that I felt that were a little quirky. Sometimes I would throw it out there and I would start working it, or start the retrieve, and the thing would just surface. It almost like it couldn't find its rhythm in the water, and it couldn't start rocking like this, and so it would just come up and surface, and the hooks weren't fouled up on the line or anything. So it had some quirkiness like that to it, but I mean, these are small details that you can work out, and this might be an isolated incident where somebody else could, have 100 casts and never experience that. For me, I experienced it probably 3 to 4 times out of every 20 casts. So again, not that big of a deal, but just something to pay attention to. One thing that I like about Storm Lures is their affiliation with Rapala and VMC, so they always come with some decent hooks. These are their, I think these are just some standard VMC hooks, but they still are black nickel. They're both the same size hooks on there. 3-dimensional holographic eyes. You can see this one's got a gold eye on it, because it's more of a gold lure. Let's see, this one is called Green Chartreuse Crawl, and then I forget what this one's called, Blue Steel Shad. And Blue Steel Shad's got the silver eye on it. You can see that it says Storm Rockin Shad 06 right there on the bottom, and it's got raised gill plates. You've got the cut scales on there, It's a pretty nice little crankbait for $5.50. Again, you don't expect the world from a $5.50 crankbait, but it performed really well for me. Circle split ring on the top, kind of a flat nose that kind of has a sweep to it a little bit like this. So I'm sure that attributes to some of the action. When on the fall, it does fall kind of nose down like this. It's about a medium fall. It's not like really fast like the LV500, and it's not real slow like the I'm a Rockin' vibe. So I would just say that this has kind of got a medium fall to it, like right in between those two. So go over the colors here. Blue Steel Shad has a light blue back, shad dot. You can kind of see that chartreuse yellow line going from the shad dot all the way to the rear there, and just an overall kind of a silver, not holographic, but foil pattern with some painting on it here. So it's got a foil pattern here with some paint on it towards the bottom here, and an orange throat. So there's Blue Steel Shad. This next one, I picked this one up because it's just an interesting color. I don't have anything like this color in my lipless crankbait collection. This is green chartreuse crawl. So it's kind of got a crawdad pattern to it, I guess. I mean, obviously you can see the lines on it that resemble a crawdad, but I think it's going to resemble more of like when it's running through the water, it's going to be more like a bluegill. So because of that, just that bright color. Not because it looks anything like a bluegill, but just because it's got that bright color. So there is green chartreuse shad. One of the other things I liked about this is that when you're running it in the water, if you want to burn it at a really fast pace, that's something that you want to check with some of these lures, because some people just want to throw it out there and just run it right back as quick as they can. And this one does a really good job at staying true inside the water. It comes back in the same profile that it runs when it's running slow. So that's a good quality to have if you want to run it slow or you want to run it fast. Either way, it's going to do the job for you. So the Storm Rockin Shad, I liked it. I thought it was a good crankbait for $5.50. So check it out if you guys get the opportunity. If you guys like the video, hit the like button right over here. Really appreciate that. Kind of lets me know how I'm doing. And stay tuned next week. I'll have another review out for you. Thanks a lot.